Papa Trump, you got this. Stand strong.
Papa Trump?
Papa Trump, because that's my papa. That's my papa, Papa Trump. I love that man. And anything he wants.
Consider him like a father figure?
Yes.
People are saying that Donald Trump is like Hitler. Are you sick of those people?
I am sick of those people.
Why do you think he picked one of them for his vice president?
Vance is comes from a middle class family. He struggled.
If you give a message to Donald Trump, what would it be?
Release the Epstein list. Anyone on that list that did anything bad, they belong in jail.
Who do you think's on there?
I don't know. Probably those same people you were mentioning earlier.
The billionaires?
New York.
Yeah.
I think every file should be released to the public.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands.
Donald Trump is refusing to release the Epstein files now. What's your response to that?
No matter what they say, I'm going to have to insist. Donald Trump ain't on the Epstein list, and he's not going to release it for your safety.
You're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
The tariffs are working. The tariffs are working.
If you're 50 years old and have a 401k, you've lost about $74,000 in the past 3 months. Does that feel like it's working?
No, I've lost more than that.
Are you concerned that Donald Trump sent in the National Guard even though it wasn't requested by the governor?
Yes, because President Trump has the right to protect his citizens when he sees that his governors and his mayors, who most of them have been placed there by people like George Soros.
You support him?
Yes, I do.
Even after today, after hearing that he explicitly is in the Epstein files according to Elon Musk?
I think that's a lie.
You think it's a lie? What makes you think it's a lie? You think Elon's a liar?
Well, Elon has Asperger's, so, I mean, I would think...
How does that make him a liar?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've watched any of my previous videos, you already know the disclaimer. Some of y'all are operating with minor brain trauma after watching MAGA folks parade around like cultic clowns. And honestly, today's no different. So let me apologize in advance for any brain cells you're about to lose watching these loud and proud ignoramuses perform their nonsense in public like it's a talent show from the Twilight Zone. And if you're wondering what I had to endure just to put this together, I'd rather not talk about it. Let's just say the coffee helps. But hey, I'm here for you guys, and it makes me happy to see you enjoyed the videos. So let's dive in, straight into the MAGA madness. Now, in 1978, over 900 people died in the jungles of Guyana, poisoned by Kool-Aid they were told would save them. They weren't just victims of a cult, they were victims of belief. Now, look around. What if I told you that same spirit never died? It just found the new zip code. What if I told you it put on a suit, held a rally, and ran for office? Because the MAGA movement isn't just a political ideology. It has all the trademarks of a modern cult. And the horrifying truth, just like Jonestown, it doesn't just harm the people inside it, it destroys everyone around them too. In Jonestown, it was families, children, innocent bystanders. With MAGA, it's America itself. And the entire world is affected too. It's the economy, democracy, basic rights. We all suffer the fallout of one group's blind devotion. In this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step why MAGA supporters can't leave, even when the lies are exposed, even when the damage is undeniable, even when they F around and find out. They are stuck. Blind, absolute belief in a man who told them only he had the answers. A man who said the world was against them. And they followed him to the end.
The media said Joe Biden's president. Ha 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 ha
Who is working with Donald Trump right now, behind the scenes?
Mostly God.
Donald Trump is getting orders from God?
I think so.
Piggybacking off my video from yesterday that MAGA is a psychiatric disorder, I actually looked it up, and what you can tell your MAGA friends is that in the DSM, the psychiatry manual, there is a diagnosis called shared psychotic disorder. And this is when a group has a set of delusional beliefs. And this is under the dissociative disorders in the DSM. So you can tell your MAGA friends that they have shared psychotic disorder.
Every cult needs a messiah. And Jim Jones, he played the role flawlessly. Divine authority? Check. Only one who could save you from the big, bad, corrupt world? Double check. He didn't just want loyalty. He expected worship. And the scary part? He got it. Fast forward to MAGA land, and you'd think we're watching a rerun. Donald Trump isn't just viewed as a politician, no. To many of his followers, he's the chosen one. I've seen people call him God's anointed. Some even said he was sent to fulfill biblical prophecy. And in the darkest corners of the cult base, yes, they've actually said he's greater than Jesus. Like, imagine comparing a man who turned water into wine with one who turns golden toilets into campaign ads. And here is where the danger really kicks in. Because once your leader becomes your savior, any criticism isn't just disagreement. It's blasphemy. You don't just risk being wrong. You risk being cast out. In Jonestown, if you questioned Jim Jones, you were labeled a traitor. In MAGA world, if you question Trump, the tribe comes after you. You're called woke, and sometimes crazy things that I won't mention in this video because I don't want it taken down. Same script, new actor.
Yesterday, I posted this on Threads. All right, Christians, Trump or Jesus? You can't serve both. And I stand by that. And if you are a Christian, this answer is easy. You just say Jesus. I got over 2,000 replies of people who couldn't follow this basic prompt. Like this guy. Trump is doing great things. Is it greater than Jesus did? Absolutely not. Nowhere near what Jesus did. But Trump is furthering what Jesus did by serving justice and protecting the interests of Americans. Yes, because John 3:16 said, "For God so loved the world that he sent his only son to protect the interests of Americans." And the amount of people that wrote long things that were like, whoa, what about Kamala Harris? Was that the alternative? Like, filled with misinformation. No, she's literally not killing babies. And also, she is not president, and I did not mention her. And you know, it is possible for you to have voted for Donald Trump in 2024, see that he's kidnapping people off the streets and shipping them off to prisons, sometimes by administrative error, mind you. And you could say, you know what? I don't want to support this man anymore. You could do that. But I said, okay, so you choose Trump. Got it. She said, yes. I hate it here.
Now, if that clip didn't convince you, don't worry. I've got more. But let's switch gears for a second and get a little psychological with it. Coming up next is a clip from an actual professional. Yep, someone who went to school for this kind of mind control madness. I want you to listen carefully. And I mean carefully, because what they describe lines up almost word for word with what we're seeing in the MAGA cult. And don't even think about clicking away, because after this, we're jumping right back in with more unhinged moments from Trump supporters that prove the point even louder. Let's roll it, shall we?
I've been dying to dig into this. I've been asking myself for years why Trump's followers can't see reality. So I did my research, and I'm going to share it with you. Let's talk about the psychology behind the Trump cult, because that's what it is. It's not a normal political movement anymore. It's a cult of personality. And if we want to fight it, we have to understand it. So let's break it down. First, Trump doesn't offer policies. He offers identity. He's not popular because of what he does, but because of what he represents. To many of his followers, he's the walking, talking middle finger to a system they believe has failed them.
We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to save our country. We are going to drain that damn swamp. And I'll tell you, I did a hell of a job. But that sucker is deep.
They see him as their guy, not because he's honest, not because he helps them, but because he talks like them.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
Rages like them and punches the people they've been told to blame for everything. In psychology, there's a term for this: identity fusion. It's when your personal identity becomes fused with your group or leader. That's why criticism of Trump feels like a personal attack to his supporters. It's not just he's being criticized, it's I'm being criticized.
People need to stop calling MAGA weird.
Why does that bother you?
Because we're not weird! Look, why do you keep saying that?
Oh, maybe it's because anytime somebody says the word Trump, it's like a switch.
You mean the man that's gonna save the world? There's nothing I hate more than George Floyd!
This is what I'm talking about. Anytime someone says the word Trump, it's like a switch goes off in their brain and they...
It's just frustrating because none of you guys see the truth. God handpicked Donald Trump!
Second, he offers revenge, not solutions.
Donald Trump is calling for Barack Obama to be indicted right now for treason on his Truth Social account. Check this out. He says it's time to indict Obama, the traitor, for treason. Then he has this picture of himself, I guess, where he thinks he looks tough and mean. Look at that. That's not just politics. What we're seeing is dangerous authoritarian propaganda be spread by our own president on a social media app.
He doesn't promise to fix healthcare or raise wages or protect your rights. He promises to go after them, whether it's immigrants, the press, Black activists, LGBTQ people, liberals, college students, elites, anyone outside the tribe. That's classic authoritarianism. Give people a sense of law. Tell them who stole it, then promise to make them pay.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump is now posting images of Barack Obama in an orange jumpsuit on his Truth Social. He also posted a video of President Obama being arrested in the Oval Office. He has since deleted that video on his Truth Social. This is the latest image. How did Samantha Power make all that money? And it's literally Obama officials, right, with Barack Obama right here.
And to some people, that rage, that promise of vengeance is more emotionally satisfying than actual policy.
Has anybody ever heard of Barack Hussein Obama? Remember Rush? Barack Hussein Obama. Remember Rush Limbaugh? He would talk about Barack Hussein Obama. Rush. Gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He is missed, greatly missed.
Remember when we just would randomly say Hussein? The crowd loves this stuff.
It doesn't fix their problems, but it feels like power. Third, people crave order, and Trump promises strength. When institutions fail, when you don't trust the media, the courts, elections, schools, you start to look for a savior, someone who says, only I can fix it.
What do you think's really going on right now in the United States of America?
It's we're a Jesus revolution. Yeah, Jesus is coming back. This is the greatest thing going on since Jesus walked the earth, and the greatest story ever told. In the end, the greatest story ever told.
Wait, Donald Trump being in office is the greatest thing since Jesus?
Donald Trump's part of the rescue.
That's why Trump acts like a strong man. He creates the crisis, then sells himself as the only one tough enough to stop it. He's done that over and over and over again. He's not leading a movement. He's leading a dependency. Fourth, his followers are trapped in an information bubble. They don't just believe lies. They live inside them.
What do you love about Donald Trump?
I love the man. He's a real man. And I've been to 5 Trump rallies, and it just doesn't, we need him. This country needs him.
For what specifically? Like, what's the one thing when you say we need Donald Trump? What's the thing
He's an excellent leader. He made lots of changes that really got our country moving, and these Democrats are ruining our country. They're just hell-bent on turning this country into a communist country, and they're going to try socialism first, then it'll go to communism, and we can't have that.
Where do you see that you're talking about evidenced in the last few years?
Trying to go to socialism? Well, let me think about that, because there's lots of things, but
I just saw a video of Kamala Harris speaking, and she looks drunk, she looks incoherent, and holy freaking crap, we dodged a bullet. Donald Trump literally dodged a bullet for democracy. We know what's best for us. Glad we all participated in bringing a true leader back into the White House. God bless America, guys.
A few moments later.
I'm sorry to my community for voting the way I did. Now I can empathize and sympathize with the Black community. Now that it's here with us too, it's like crap. I honestly legitimately didn't think it was real, but it's real as hell. and it's obviously minority groups that are targeted and persecuted.
I didn't fucking vote for this. Number one, imagine that they give you freshly squeezed lemonade, and then you drink it and you enjoy it.
I voted for him for lower grocery prices. He promised me cheaper prices on groceries. And that has not happened. Not only has that not happened, I am getting my food stamps taken. I am getting my cash assistance taken. I am getting my Section 8 taken. I am getting all my welfare governments taken.
Today, I was let go from my job that I've had for 10 years because of this TikTok account. Ryan's Construction LLC, I will be seeing you in court.
Hey man, sorry to hear about the job. Oklahoma is an at-will employment state, which means that an employer can terminate an employee for any reason or even no reason at all. Seems like kind of a lousy policy, right? You want to know who voted that into law? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't the Democrats.
Fox News, MAGA influencers, far-right churches, Trump's own app, Truth Social, it's a closed-loop ecosystem that tells them every day, the elites hate you, the media lies, only Trump tells the truth. This is called epistemic closure, when you no longer accept any outside information. It's cult logic. If Trump says it, it's true.
Trump doesn't lie.
Trump doesn't lie?
No. No, he does not lie. No, you'll see. You'll see.
You don't think Donald Trump has ever lied?
No.
But like when he talks about the biggest crowds, everything, you don't think he's lying about that ever?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Do you think there's a problem with misinformation out there?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Some people believe in things that are just not true?
Absolutely. 100%.
And where do you think Obama was born?
Kenya.
There's an unemployed Trump voter who said they voted for Trump because he promised to kill Obamacare, but says he hopes Trump keeps his hands off the Affordable Care Act, which he relies upon. Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. Here's what this guy wrote online. He wrote the following, quote, I just voted for him because he's going to kill Obamacare. I am unemployed and Obamacare effing sucks. I'd rather just have the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, by itself instead of this communism shit. And then someone responded to him by saying, Obamacare is the ACA. It is literally keeping you alive. You voted to take away your health care. And then the original poster wrote back, quote, why the F do people have two different names for it? Obama equals bad and affordable equals good. I effing hate Democrats. Well, if you remember, it was the Republicans who branded it as Obamacare originally to try to scare people like you. Maybe you're...
If the world says otherwise, the world is lying. And then fifth, shame is too powerful, so they double down, just like Trump does.
The Democrats were the ones that were for slavery. The Democrats were the ones that came up with the Jim Crow stuff.
Even if all of that were true about slavery, which party flies the Confederate flag today?
A lot of the Democrats.
You really think Democrats fly the Confederate flag
There's
more than
Democrats
Republicans?
that, yes.
Overwhelmingly, you'll see a Confederate flag right next to a Trump flag. That's just how it works nowadays.
No, I haven't seen that overwhelmingly.
You really? You think,
Where?
was it Democrats or Republicans trying to take down Confederate statues?
Confederate statues?
Which party was trying to take down Confederate statues?
What's the statue got to do with?
You're saying that Democrats are pro-Confederate, but weren't Democrats trying to remove Confederate statues?
Why are they doing that?
Because they're anti-Confederate.
No, they're not.
Some Trump supporters know deep down they've been conned. They've seen the cruelty, the corruption, the chaos, but they've already invested years of their identity into defending him. To walk away now would mean confronting shame, losing their community, admitting they were wrong. And that's terrifying to them, so instead, they dig in deeper. And finally, and this one matters, Trump makes them feel seen. He tells them, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. That line, it's emotional manipulation, but it works. Because for millions of people who feel ignored, dismissed, mocked by elites, Trump says, you matter. You're not crazy, they are. He gives them belonging. And in a country where loneliness is rising and inequality is everywhere, belonging is everything. So when people ask, why do people love him? Why would they follow him off a cliff? It's not just politics, it's psychology, it's identity, and it's fear. This is deliberate. Trump didn't create the cult. He just saw the cracks in our society and he weaponized them. But here's the thing. Not everyone in that cult is unreachable. Some are too far gone, but others are on the edge, quiet, doubting, hurting. We don't get them back with facts. We get them back by offering something Trump never will. Real community, real care, and real solutions. Because people don't join cults when they're happy and secure. They join when they're scared, isolated, and desperate for meaning. So here's your call to action. Keep speaking truth, keep exposing the con, and when you can, offer people a way out that doesn't begin with shame, but with dignity. This fight isn't just about defeating Trump. It's about breaking the spell and building something better in its place. That's how we get them in. That's how we get them to abandon him.
Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever heard of something called the sunk cost fallacy? It's when you've invested so much time, energy, or money into something that, even when it's clearly a failure, you just can't walk away. You stay. Not because it's working, but because admitting it was a mistake would hurt your ego. Like staying in a restaurant with bad food just because you already paid. Or keeping a toxic relationship alive just because you've been together for 6 years and bought a blender together. Now, for Trumpers and MAGA cult members who hear and see all the red flags but still refuse to leave, this is exactly what's going on. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to admit they were duped. So what do? They double down. Especially the men. More women are statistically likely to leave MAGA than men. And the reason is simple. MAGA men are told they're alpha, strong, dominant, just like daddy is. And if you've ever watched Jesse Lee Peterson for more than 30 seconds without vomiting, you'll hear him refer to anyone who disagrees with Trump, or the Great White Hope as he calls him, as a beta male. Now of course, no MAGA man wants to be a beta. That's weakness. That's soft. They want to be strong, like daddy. Which is exactly why you see guys like Andrew Tate, a walking pyramid scheme with biceps, publicly backing Trump. Because cults love other cults. The Kool-Aid blends well. But let's keep going. Let's walk through the remaining signs of cult behavior, and you tell me if any of this sounds familiar. Jim Jones taught his followers the outside world was evil. Critics? Agents of the system. Enemies of the truth. Sound familiar? MAGA runs on the same engine. The media is fake. Democrats are demonic. Disagree and you're a rhino or part of the deep state. Cults always isolate their members mentally and emotionally. MAGA doesn't just encourage division, it monetizes it. Jim Jones could abuse people, lie to them, contradict himself, and no one batted an eye. Sound like someone else we know? Trump can praise dictators one day, threaten democracy the next, insult his own base, lie about elections, and somehow his support gets stronger. Why? Because facts don't matter when faith replaces logic. That's not politics, that's religious-style devotion. That's textbook cult behavior. Jones kept his followers fed on propaganda, distorted news, no outside voices. MAGA has built the same echo chamber. Truth Social, Fox News, YouTube spirals, Reddit wormholes. They don't watch the news. They curate it. Reality becomes optional. Trump is always right, even when he's wrong. And if he changes his story, well, they'll just change theirs too. In Jonestown, followers were surrounded by chants and slogans. Every day was a rally. Every sentence had a script. Now tell me, MAGA doesn't look exactly like that. Rallies, chants, red hats, flags, worship music with Trump's name in it. This isn't a campaign. This is liturgy. Question Jim Jones and you are done. Question Trump and boom, you're a rhino, censured, primaried, cast out. In cults, loyalty isn't earned, it's demanded. MAGA doesn't protect values, it protects the leader at all costs. Jonestown ended in literal death. Now, MAGA might not be physically suicidal, but it is politically and socially self-destructive. People stormed the Capitol and went to jail. Trump walked free. People have lost friends, marriages, jobs, opportunities, and still they say, "I'd do it again for him." Some have voted against their own healthcare, wages, or benefits just to own the libs. How do you explain that? It's simple. When you're in a cult, pain doesn't break your loyalty. It proves it. And hey, if you still think this is all just political opinion, then let me remind you what's happening in places like Washington, D.C. right now. Trump is already moving, bringing in the National Guard to clear out the homeless. He's not waiting. He's building the world he wants, fast. And what he's capable of, who knows? Because when people hand over power to a cult leader, history shows us exactly how that ends. So if you were sipping the Kool-Aid, I hope you're starting to taste the poison. I know I might be preaching to the choir here, but share this with someone, a friend, a family member, because next time you see someone acting like this, they don't need your hate, they need your prayers. Psychologically, many of them have legitimately been brainwashed, and the first step out of a cult is hearing a voice from outside of it.